Okay, it looks like it's fine. Um, okay, well, either way, it should be recording because I'm streaming, so that should be fine for anybody who wants to check this out later. Anyhow, so this is where I was at yesterday. Tiny Bones the Pickpocket, 7 mana creature, black, death touch, 1/1. It's a skeleton rogue. When this card deals damage to any opposing target, pick one of the first 4 cards from your opponent's graveyard, fetch that card, and it gains half its mana rounded down. So it's just an okay card, if you ask me. At least it's only 7 mana. It's a 1/1, so you really need to do something to it for it to really do much for you in the damage department, or you just have to use other methods of win con to uh, yeah, to just win the game really. And so it's not only is it at least you get to pick which card you get from your opponent's graveyard. So it's similar to like Zerasan the Trickster from um, Zendikar, but yeah, you need something in your opponent's graveyard before he starts to do anything. So you have to build around him a little bit. Some of the other cards we've gotten that just um, get mana from their library or get cards from their library and put mana into them, those seem a little bit more practical. Well, so you just never know what you're going to get from your opponent's graveyard. The best part about this card is that you get a choice, and then also that it triggers when you deal damage. So that means if you put double strike on him, you are potentially able to steal 2 cards from the graveyard in one turn. So that part of it is kind of cool, but other than that, I don't know. I'm not that impressed with them. He's cheap though, at least. Torpor Orb. I already spoiled this card, talked a lot about it, but I don't know if there's anything else I need to add to it other than what I said before, where it's meant to stop creatures entering the battlefield, any effects like that, and also even supports entering the battlefield, any effects. It should stop that too. And then it will slowly, depending on what type of cards they're running, it will slowly destroy your opponent's shields, also their vanguard. So that's a little bit brutal there. So not going to be a fun card to go against, but I have to really decide if I like this card enough to use it in a deck. I haven't decided yet, actually. Vihan Goldwaker, 16 mana, Dwarf Warlock, 2 4. Um, It is tricolor at least, so it's got that going for it. At the beginning of your turn, create a gold token, then create X Death Touch Assassin tokens. X is 2 times the number of simple cards you control, including their reinforcements. So, does that mean clues? Clues are simple tokens, and when they hit the board, they have 2 shields. Does that mean they're reinforced twice, or reinforced once, or does that just count as one? So I don't know how. If it doesn't count that, then I'm not sure how you reinforce simple tokens because they're not supposed to reinforce, right? Um, because I'm thinking of like Kasmina just puts shields on them. Her third ability just puts shields on them, doesn't necessarily reinforce them. Um, yeah, I'm a little bit confused by that wording there, but I don't know. I think Death Touch Assassins are 1/1s, but that's still pretty good. Even if you only get if you fill the board with food tokens or whatever, and then trigger this guy, then you're still creating tons of these Death Touch Assassins, which is pretty cool. At the beginning of the combat on your turn, outlaw creatures you control gain vigilance and haste. So the Death Touch Assassins are going to get haste and vigilance, and they're going to have Death Touch. So that's pretty rad, actually. This is actually a pretty solid card, I think. It's going to be making tons of token creatures for you, and they're going to be able to attack on that turn and then block on your next turn. So, yeah, I like this guy. Um, he's going to be cool, especially like with Guillaume. Yeah, he's a really going to be a really good pairing with Guillaume. And then Guillaume is just black and green, so you can't get him out with M5. But still, getting this guy out with meeting of the five is going to be cool. Yeah, I like this guy. Villainous Wealth. Okay, this was one of the ones that were spoiled recently. 20 mana, 4 shields, but it's also tricolor. They're giving us a lot of tricolor cards, which is nice. Um, at the beginning of your turn, the two first fetch the first two cards of your opponent's library, and those cards gain full mana. So, comparing this to Tiny Bones, look how much better of a card this is. I know it's a masterpiece. I know it costs 20 mana, but it's tricolor, so you can put it on the board with Meaning of the Five pretty quickly anyway. Um, it is just a support card. It's not an enchantment or artifact, so it makes it a little bit harder to get out on the board that way. But yeah, super powerful effect. And even if the opponent's not giving you great cards, you're getting two cards with full mana every turn, which means that you can use that mana generated for other things that drain mana from your hand, such as plotted. So it's gonna be it's gonna make good fodder for certain effects, even if you don't cast the cards. Plus, also you can just steal cards from your opponent. It gives colors that don't usually have steal um, that option. Like you could run this in mono green for whatever reason you might want to, and um, if you're going against another mono green creature, planeswalker, I should say, you could steal their Galtas and Tortoises and all that from them. Yeah, this is a really interesting and probably really powerful card. I really like it. I'm not usually one of those, not usually a big fan of stealing your opponent's cards to use against them, because it's likely that your opponent's cards aren't going to synergize with yours. But if you're getting them for free every turn, you might be able to find a way to make them work. Vraska the Silencer. 4 mana, 3/3 Gorgon Assassin. This is going to be annoying because it has Defender, First Strike, and Death Touch. So most things are going to die to it right away. I think they either have to have First Strike or Double Strike on them for it not to, for her to die. So that's pretty solid right there. It makes for a nice little defending blocker that can kill your opposing creatures just for being on the board. And if you throw flying on it, then it's a nice little wall. When an opposing creature dies, create a gold token. So it's just a nice little extra effect. But this is a really nice card to put down in the beginning of the game because it's going to help defend. And if they're not running heavy removal, which some people aren't always, I think this will be really nice for those early game. If they get a fast start on you, you can do a lot to help yourself stay in the game for a while. So pretty cool card. I like it. I love that it's only 4 to cast. So definitely don't sleep on that part of the card. Wrangler of the Damned. Human Soldier, 15 mana, flash, 1/4, creature human soldier, white and blue. When you cast a card, if that card has a plotted emblem, create 3 white spirit tokens. Otherwise, create a white spirit token. So what I liked about this card is, so if that card has a plotted, okay, so that's how you can synergize with the cards that don't necessarily have plotted, because some cards give you plotted, or give a random, or not random, but give a card in your hand plotted. So that way you can still do something with those cards. Otherwise, create a white spirit token. So what I like about this card is that it's benefits from loops. Just casting a card creates white spirit, so you can do a lot with that. You can, create a healer hallowed haunting loop. It's like a poor man's healer hallowed haunting loop enabler. So in that way, it's pretty cool. And then if you have three white spirits created when you cast a plotted card, yeah, it's even better. So yeah, not my favorite strategy anymore. I used to use Healer of the Pride, Hallowed Haunting for tons of different coalition events, and I just kind of got bored of it. But it's still a really good strategy, and yeah, it's a pretty good little card for an uncommon. And Wiley Duke, a teen hero or a teen? How do you say that? Um, 10 mana, 4/2 human ranger, with vigilance. I mean, it's only got two. Um, it's only got two toughness, so I don't know how much that vigilance is really going to be helping you. But whatever. When this creature attacks, you gain 6 life and draw a card. I just thought that was a decent little effect for an uncommon. Gaining 6 life when you attack is not bad, and also drawing a card is hardly ever a bad thing either. Okay, well that's it then. That was all the cards I needed to spoil. I'm sure there are some others that I didn't include in my stream from last night that you thought were worth talking about. But yeah, go on the Discord. I'm mostly active in Gauze Discord, but I'm in most of them. And yeah, just let me know if there were cards that you're looking forward to seeing or using in the game. And yeah, might as well leave a comment here on YouTube as well if you're interested. But yeah, so looking forward. They haven't given us a timeline for when the next set is supposed to release, but I'm gonna guess Tuesday or Wednesday, possibly Thursday, but we'll see. I have no extra info on that, so I couldn't even if I were allowed to tell you, I'm not able to. So